Have you ever hit record on your podcast and stopped and thought to yourself, what am I talking about? Or why am I talking about this yet again? I feel like my content is stale or like I am repeating myself every single episode. I'm completely stumped and stuck on high quality content that my people actually need and want. I recently asked my team of interns what they were struggling with the most. And they ended up telling me this whole different variety of things that all came down to the same problem, which was I don't know what to say when I sit down to podcast. I feel like I am doing the same content over and over again, or I simply have no idea where to start when it comes to content creation. Copy and messaging are hard, especially when you are just starting out. And even today, I've been doing this for over 6 years, and there are times where I feel a little stumped in my content, but I've really truly cracked the code. And today I'm going to take you through 3 main things that we need to work on together to help you sit down and just have an immediate action plan when it comes to creating content that is going to be highly desired, listened to, and found all across the world from your podcast. In this very first section, I want to talk to you about why your messaging matters. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit your actions to the Lord and your plans will succeed." Messaging is part of planning. When you get clarity on your copy, you're able to communicate what God has placed on your heart to the people that He's called you to serve. So your messaging, it does matter. I want you to imagine creating a podcast that has a sprinkle of all the things that you love: decluttering and marriage and meal prepping and prayer life and dealing with your kids and parenting. And one particular person finds your podcast because of your parenting episode. And they subscribe and they love it and they leave a comment and they share it with a friend because it's so it. Then someone else finds your podcast because of your meal prepping. They subscribe, like, and share. Well, the problem is the next week when they come back to find that targeted content that they're actually looking for, they find something else. And so they decide that they can't come to you for instant gratification, which sadly, that is really the era that we're in. It's like the instant gratification era. They leave. So what you have to think about is, how do I create messaging around content that my people are looking for that is really super consistent? For example, if you have this lifestyle brand, you've really got to take a moment and drill into what is the exact thing that I want to get known for and teach and become the expert in, because that's going to allow you to create content around that particular topic, not over and over again in a way that is stale, played out, dry, and boring, but in a way where you are taking people on a deep dive into your particular pocket of the market. For example, if you decide to drill down into meal prep, it's not just Meal Prep 101, how to get started with meal prepping basics. No, friend, it's like, let's talk about the grocery list to meal prepping your proteins on Sunday. Let's talk about time blocking to create success in meal prep. Let's discuss 4 easy ways to batch your vegetables and fruits when it comes to meal prepping. There's an endless plethora of rabbit trails that we can follow if we can define what our ultimate messaging is. So that's why it matters, and a visual of how it's going to help you. All right, let's move into the second section here, which is really understanding tangible steps to improve your messaging. The reason that you're stuck and stumped is because you don't have ultimate clarity, or you don't know how to take a big, broad topic and drill it down into all those different bite-sized pieces like I just gave you in my example. So number 1, we've got to start with who you are talking to. I want you to imagine for a moment your ideal listener of your podcast. Is it a busy mom? Is it a woman who is juggling work and faith? Write out their struggles, dreams, and the words that they might be looking up or searching for. Here's a tangible tip. Use things like surveys. You can pop these into a Facebook group, for example. You can use polls in Facebook groups, or if you have an Instagram account, or you can just ask questions to your community. Shoot out an email to your list. Hey, getting started, have literally nobody and nothing to go to ask. Get your phone out and text 5 people that you know, because guaranteed you know some people who are your ideal avatar as well. You can literally text them and ask questions. For example, you might say something like, when it comes to meal prep, what are your thoughts? And then guess what you do? Stop talking. Let them actually answer you in their own words. That is going to give you that clarity of who your person is and what they need. 1 Corinthians 14:9 says, if you speak in words people don't understand, how will they know what you are saying? Oh my goodness. Knowing your audience is going to help you speak directly to them clearly. The second piece of this section of tangible steps to improve messaging is to be specific with your message. So I want you to avoid general topics. For example, faith or parenting. Look, you've got to go deeper. And I know this is hard, but hang with me. So instead of parenting, maybe you talk about disciplining toddlers with love and grace. Use the so what test. So instead of faith, we say, so what about faith? Okay, how to trust God in seasons of waiting. That's the so what. And another thing you can do is say the but how question. So instead of parenting, okay, great, but how am I parenting? Okay, you're going to discipline toddlers with love and grace. Do you see how that might help you? Are you looking for a deep dive into creating a profitable podcast? You're tired of social media. You don't want to do one more tiny offer, big ticket, medium offer, large offer. You're so tired of doing all the things and it not actually working to grow your business. Hi, I have a 5-day boot camp that I have just put together. I'm so excited about it, called the Profitable Podcast Bootcamp. Learn how to consistently make money from a podcast, and this is going to be from a Christ-led perspective. So let's glorify God in our work while we create that impact and income. Head to profitablepodcastbootcamp.com and let me show you how to create a podcast that makes steady income on autopilot. The third piece to tangibly improving your messaging is to use their language, not yours. So what words does your audience use to describe their struggles? An example, instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed by podcast strategy, they may say, I feel stuck and don't know what to say. AKA this literal episode right now where somebody said to me this morning, I feel stumped on my words on what to say on my podcast. Do you see the difference? So I think it's really important that as you are collecting data in the polls or in your email messaging marketing, even in the text messages, that you're paying attention to not what they're saying, but how they are saying it. That's going to help you really go from maybe this coach or this expert level of understanding that you now have in this particular field and bring you back to the grassroots place that you started. So a tangible tip is to comb through your DMs, your emails, your podcast reviews, any comments that you've received, and take a look at the words your audience is actually saying. The fourth piece of tangibly improving your messaging and to stop feeling stuck when you create content is to plan your episodes around the solutions. So every episode, if you think of it this way, should address one specific problem and offer a simple, actionable solution. So here's your framework. Are you ready? Write this down. The problem. Call out their struggle. What is the thing that they are dealing with? The second thing is the solution. Give them 1 to 3 steps to move forward. And the last thing is your CTA or your action. Tell them what to do next. Should they download your guide, join your Facebook group, leave a comment below? What is that thing that they need to do? So right now, go ahead and comment below with the one struggle that your person is dealing with right now. Try to go micro, and then the solution, the 1 to 3 steps you're going to walk them through to solve it. Comment that below. I'm super excited to see you actually take action on making this stuff more clear and more simple. And hey, this is something that I am doing every single week when I sit down to batch content. I'm not just talking about the same thing every week. I'm talking about the same niche every week, but I'm drilling into micro pockets of that niche and I'm dissecting it in as many ways as I possibly can because I know that you guys are in different areas. You need to hear it in different ways. And that one thing that I say is finally going to click for you because you know that you can come back to me to learn how to make money podcasting and to glorify God in your online business. And you know that I am the person for that for you. I want you to get known for your particular thing in your pocket of influence. All right, the very last thing, this third section I want to talk about really quick, are bonus tips to avoid feeling stuck. Number one, I want you to pray before you plan. Ask the Holy Spirit for wisdom and the right words. I'm in constant prayer with God to help me articulate the message that He has for you. That second thing I want you to do is create a bank of ideas. Whatever your task management system is, I use MeisterTask, but you might use Trello, Docs, Asana, or even a notebook. I want you to write down future inspiration. Today, as I was talking to my interns that work for my company about all the problems and pain points they're experiencing, I actually took all of their ideas and put them into my task management system so that I could record this episode for you when I sat down. And next week, when I create more content, I'm going to go right back to my bank of ideas and I'm going to pull from it. That keeps me from getting stuck. And the very last thing I want you to remember is practice makes progress. The first draft doesn't have to be perfect, and honestly, it never will. I don't know if anything ever becomes perfect, honestly, but I want you to trust that God is equipping you as you just keep showing up. So figuring out your messaging starts with knowing who you're talking to, getting specific, using their language, and focusing on simple solutions to keep you from getting overwhelmed and to creating that easy bank that you can come reference that comes straight from the mouth of your ideal listener. Don't forget to invite God into the process. He is your ultimate CEO and guide on every single thing that you do. Speaking of God, one of the biggest questions I get is your business aligned with God? If you want to check out this next video right here, I dive into 6 signs of a kingdom business owner. Click that, go ahead on over there and check it out. And don't forget to like this video. It is the #1 way that I reach new people, is you liking this video and leaving me a comment on what your next idea is for your content. I cannot wait to see it and start a conversation with you down below. I'll see you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye.